Boker Tov, Zoharim Tov, and Lila Tov, no matter where you are at. This is Carrie. I wanted to speak from the heart today about a subject matter regarding symbols. And this is something that I've been processing over the last couple days when I go for my walks and just pondering about why do we study the Hebrew and the Aramaic in regards to the symbols. Symbols telegraph information, but as a co-creator, dependent upon what you see in the symbol will determine what kind of creation you make, what kind of environment, and just the general outlook of your life. And symbols can be used in a positive manner or a negative one, depending upon your intention in using them or how you see them. I remember when I was in the Christian church and there were many people out there that were bringing symbols to people's attention, whether it was things that they saw that the Illuminati was using or any other shadow group, that they would flash symbols and that these symbols would carry messages. And to the people who are flashing the symbols and using the symbols, it does mean something. But for those of us who don't know the symbols or didn't know the symbols, those symbols meant nothing to us. So therefore, we wouldn't be creating off of those energy signatures. Now, because they were exposed as being utilized as something negative, we then attached a meaning to them. And when we attach a meaning to them, it begins to change our environment and creating our atmosphere. And a lot of those things were shared to initially to illuminate one, be made aware of, but what was the end result? Did it cause fear? Did it cause separation, love, joy, peace? Did it do any of those things? Or did it just manifest fear and separation? Now, I'm not saying that there's not power behind those things. What I am saying is that the power resides within us giving our power to those things. So having said that and laid that foundation, let me speak to you about the Hebrew and the Aramaic. When we look at a symbol, for example, the Aleph, we'll just use that one for now. Within that symbol, it contains much information. Now, if you don't know the information that is contained in it, if you see a symbol of an Aleph and you have no information to fill it up with in word formation, it will literally not mean anything to you whatsoever. It's a character, it's a symbol, it's a non-valued symbol that you are seeing. But when you study it and you attach a value to it and you understand and comprehend that which is contained within, every time you see that Aleph, that information is then activating memory. And as a man thinks, so he is, we create through our mind, and especially when we attach it at the heart level. Let's use English now. So the letter A in the English alphabet is supposed to correlate to the Hebrew Aleph. But there is no vibrational frequency. There is no information contained in the symbol A. It just is. It's a letter that is used to form words. We attach a value or meaning to them. But when we necessarily see an A, the only thing that we can really think of is, oh, that's the first letter of the alphabet. And that means nothing. It doesn't change anything. It's in a place of neutrality. It just is. But when you look at the Aleph, that is the vibratory nature that does change things based on the study of cymatics. So whatever symbols you attach a meaning to, whenever you see those symbols, it will affect your current creation. What are you creating? What are you living in? What are you surrounding yourself with? We are wanting to share this information so that we can create a different reality, not one based on symbols that are flashed before us, based on somebody else's creation of what they're wanting to do and where they're wanting to take humanity, but where we want to go and where we want to be a part of and what we want to share with humanity. This even goes back to the Asherah poles, those things which Josiah took out. Asherah poles weren't something that they worshipped. It was a symbol, as a reminder as to who the people were to become as the Queen of Heaven. And if you haven't seen those teachings, and this is the only teaching that you've heard, or the only information that you've clicked upon, you will have no idea what I just said. And dependent upon your indoctrination, you might take strong offense to that. And you know what? That's okay. But if you want to know, then there are videos out there. There are teachings that I have shared to let people know what some of these symbols mean, so that we can actually get back to the intention that was given to us to become that which was intended to become part of the Olefim family. So next time you see a symbol, and one that has had a negative connotation to it, I would suggest that you find the positive in it. Recreate the narrative in one that is full of love and light and truth, one that is not based in fear, is not based in separation, is not based on based frequencies, but elevated frequencies. This is what we are attempting to do when we share from the Hebrew and the Aramaic perspective versus the black and white script. When you look at the book of Revelation or the book of Daniel or even in Matthew chapter 24, and you look at all the symbols that create the words on the black and white narrative, the lesser narrative, it can create fear. But what is underneath it? What of the original script? What of that of Hebrew and Aramaic? What is that sharing with us? In languages that have vibratory natures in it that actually affect us at our DNA level, that produce love and light within, that vanquish the beast ego nature that says that we are separate and that rules us through fear. We are drawing forth these symbols with their positive vibrations, and that is why when we see scripture, we see it in a completely different light because we process it through light and not in darkness. We are no longer ignorant or nationed. We know because we've studied. This is really important for us to think about. I have been digging into some works in Ezekiel and in Revelation regarding the mark of the beast. We have evolved much since these were originally penned. And when these were originally penned, and what I mean originally penned in the English narrative, you have to understand in the times that they were living and why they would put forth the English narrative in such a manner that they did. Because they were not able to see the symbols properly. They were ruled by fear. The beast ego nature was rampant. So therefore, the way that they viewed the scriptures in their original form was easily misinterpreted and bent towards that negative polarity, the one based in fear and through separation. We are seeing them in a different light, as more evolved, as people that are growing up and maturing, which is also can be used synonymously with the word ascension. It's about our spiritual maturation process. So these symbols are going to resonate differently with us now than it did thousands of years ago, or 1800 years ago, or whenever these translators put these scriptures together. It makes no difference to me the timeline in which they did it. I just know what my eyes see today, and I know that we are attempting to shed light literally upon these symbols so that when you look upon them, it creates a different narrative that dispels fear and perfects love, to create a new reality not only for us, but for others who would venture in and be willing and be brave enough to audit those things and look at them and see how we can change them to a positive light, bringing us together in unity, in shalom, than in hate and division. So, may you be blessed. Shalom, shalom, and namaste.